Hello guys, and welcome to another video. This one is going to be a video about carrying, and I will first talk about the reason I use the Bard specialization instead of the Charmer specialization, which has the other multi-spell that does massive damage. And the reason is the power of the spell itself. The minimum is just a bit too low for us to take it seriously. So on Bard, the minimum is 4,500 with our current build. On Charmer, which costs 200 orns, it is 800. So that means that even some easier waves, we will have trouble completing, simply because we are not doing enough damage when we do our minimum damage, whereas Mage's Dance, our minimum damage is usually high enough to smack everything beyond reasonable doubt. Even though Mage's Dance can do about 10,000 more damage than, Mage's Pavane can do about 10,000 more damage than Mage's Dance. Mage's Dance's low damage is still high enough to be able to clear trash waves or even some stronger waves once we're fully buffed up. And you know that it is all about the multipliers. So I'm going to show you the stats of my carry build. I have my carry build on in my world loadout right now. I'll just go over to my gauntlet loadout so it looks better. And I have 8,200 magic. And I'll show you guys the build. This is a really late game build, so I'm going to show you guys a more accessible build, because even these boots are an event only item. This is event only. And honestly, if you have the boot version of this, the other carry build is perfect for you. So this is probably the most accessible carry build. Where is it? That's a weird one. Seems I have trashed it. Oh, here it is. Heretic's Robe. So Heretic's Robe gives you the mana booster or mana burner passive, and that one makes you use mana a lot more than normal, because Heretic's passive makes you save 25% of the mana cost for each spell. So this one is pretty much just reversing that and then some. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So you can see I pay 270 here. Have I not moved over to Bard? I'll switch over to Bard, because Bard also gives you 20% more mana, so you're working with a little bit more mana in the dungeons. And I'll speak about how you utilize that extra mana soon. So you can see Mage's Dance is 60 mana without any type of mana burning gear. So with Heretic's Robe, Mana Burner does a fucking complete flip. It doubles up and then some. So it now costs 140 mana to do one Mage's Dance. So you need 2,800 mana to do 20 floors. And then with that, you still can't even buff at all. So Old Northern Crown is a good one to build with this. And this is a decent build of accessible gear. And you know, you get your Old Northern Crown from Boar NPC. You get your Heretic's Robe from the Fallen Heretic in Tier 10 normal boss mode dungeons. Normal dungeon Tier 10 boss mode, yeah. And the boots from the Battlegrounds dungeon from Baldur. And this one prevents you from getting cursed when you use Mimic's Mischief. This one is just a good one for persons who have nothing else. If you have even a regular Staff of the Chimera, you can still upgrade it to full, and you can use the symbols of, I want to give you the correct name, so I don't want to say the name I'm thinking, but I think I'm saying the right name, so I'm going to search it and see. Okay, so I do not accessories. Oopsie, adornments. Haha. Yes, so the symbol of doom. Yes. And it will give you 1% act rate. So if you have something like a Arisen Feral Staff, that would be awesome. And you just fill it out with symbols of doom too, and you'll get a lot of action rate and you'll be able to carry. A Lugos Gauntlet is really important. I would say borderline essential. However, if you are Deity, you can use the Archimedes pet, that bird pet that is only available during the Merlin event. And that will give you the temporary magic up 3 that this gives you. I would say if you don't want the side effects of Mimic's Mischief at all, you'll still be poisoned, but you can also use the Arisen Arch Gadget. Actually, let me type in gadget. Yep, it's the gadget, Arisen Arch Gadget, or even the normal gadget that you get from End of Dungeon rewards. This one you get from the Arisen. Is it Arisen Cade? I don't know if he's Arisen because he's only tier 9, but his name is Cade and he's a world raid boss and he's a limited time one. But the gadget also prevents you from having your defenses lowered. If you're trying to upgrade a few things, then you would go Tarnished King's Crown, and this gives a bit of foresight, which will make you faster than some mobs as well as all your teammates. It gives a little bit of ward, which you don't really need that much down here because you have little ward to start with. And it gives you a ton of adornment slots which you can fill in your Azure Pinions. So Azure Pinions are supposed to be in here. And by the time we get back to my carry build, we'll see what adornments are supposed to be in all of these. You're already seeing the adornments for this and this. And as I said, these can either be bestial eyes, small bestial eyes, or they can be symbols of doom. The best amity to have in this case is the positive effects will last 50% longer amity, and it will make sure that, as it says, your positive effects will last longer. So your DC, because you're gonna use the Ashen Phoenix pet, if you don't have the Ashen Phoenix pet, then you don't even need to use a basic Staff of the Chimera. You can just use your 2 best magic weapons and you can use the Chimera pet, and you should still be able to carry some dungeons. So you'll have to test it depending on your ascension level, so, and the other buffs that you use. So other than the Heretic's robe, I really love the Arisen Embla robe. And the Arisen Embla robe is good for 2 things. It gives a little bit of magic, so just about half of the magic that the Heretic's robe gives at 200% with pinions in. And it also gives temporary all up 1. So that gives you a temporary boost, 25% to all of your stats. So that is your magic, defense, resistance, attack, and dexterity. So what we're looking for here is the magic and the dexterity. And once you have that, you are more accurate, so you can proc your other temporary buffs more often, or you can even proc your permanent buff that is not up yet. Like if you're using the Staff of the Chimera, or as I said, you can proc your Arisen Embla's robe if you're wearing it. You can proc your boots if you're using the next upgrade boots that we're gonna go to, the Ash Plumbed boots, which give you the temporary magic up 1. That is a 25% damage increase, and as we say in the Heretic business, we're trying to stack these motherfucking multipliers. So we're trying to stack the multipliers, and the more the merrier. With the Arisen Embla's robe though, you would only use these boots if you do not have the Sky Fallen shoes, and these give you the mana burner 50%. So with the Heretic's robe, you would have done 140 mana, but with the Sky Fallen shoes, you do 100 mana. So at this point, I would have just enough mana to complete all the waves, but I wouldn't be able to buff, so it would be pointless, except if I was in a lower tier dungeon, which I don't need to buff in because my temporary buffs would do the job for me, or my buffs that are triggered based on what I'm wearing. So for that build, I would switch out this helmet and I would go to this helmet, and we're pretty much back at my full build. And this helmet is the same thing as the Ash Plumbed shoes. These are the Ash Plumbed hood, and this gives me, and as you can see, it has a few adornment slots that you can slot in your your Azure pinions. So I already explained the staff, I explained this, I didn't explain this, but the Concord. So I found out, along with a few other top players, that one Concord, especially if it is superior plus the dowsing rod, is pretty much the luck cap. So that's why I carry in this way, because as I said, the Lugus Gauntlet procs based on how many monsters are hit. That's why we try to maximize our dexterity with this piece here, and this is why I believe this is the best carry build, because this makes me most accurate and gives me the most damage with the 25% damage increase that the temporary all up 1 also gives. So as I said, this one for the temporary magic up 1, 25%. It can also give defense and the resistance. Unfortunately, no dexterity on it. And this for the ease of access to my Iconoclast passive. And that means that it helps me to burn the mana I don't need, because this build has about 3,200 mana, and realistically I only ever need about 2,800 mana to do my buffs and my general carry. I'm going to give an example soon, just the buffing phase. I'm not going to go through anything more because this video is getting a bit long. So we're going to go here and we're going to go in horde mode, and we're going to jump in here, and we see 3,140 mana. So how I would buff, and I might die here. Guys, don't laugh at me if I'm die. Oh my god, I'm not going to explain that I'm drunk. You guys know. Yeah, so I would have got my Rampart 2 here. I'm gonna kill these things because they're rude and they're trying to kill me in my own video. And as you can see, I even got my damage up. So this is from the Staff of the Chimera. So if I'm soloing it, I can easily slot in a stronger magic weapon now that this buff is up, because I no longer need the staff. So I put on Wyvern Speed to get the magic up. I wanted the dexterity up too, honestly, because it really helps. So I'll drop a speed tonic. If I don't have access to items, I'll have to do Wyvern Speed again, and then I would put on Gate of Snotra. But this would only be if I'm in 4-man. I would never do Snotra in a solo, This is ridiculous. I'm about to fucking die right now. Like, I legitimately am going to... Well, actually, I think in Horde mode, nothing's faster than you. But let's see if I stand corrected at any point. Okay, I don't, because that's not faster than me. And that is faster than me in normal dungeons. So I guess it's not that dangerous to use Snotra here, as long as your accuracy... Oh shit, never mind, it's very dangerous. Luckily this fucking... Oh god, okay, I gave him a second chance. Okay, good, I didn't give him a third chance. So yeah, and you'll see the temporary buffs. Let me go on here and show you the temporary all up from my Ashen Phoenix, the temporary magic up 3, which 100%, 100%, 50%, 25%, 50%, 50%. So there's only two more buffs I can get. I can get the temporary all up 1, another 25%, and I can also get the temporary magic up 1, another 25%. And by the time I get all of those, as you can see, I'm already doing a bit of damage. I have a ton of damage. And see, I just got the temporary magic up, and that is from my hat, my headpiece. And now the only one I need to get is the temporary all up 1. So let's see if we can snipe that one at some point. And I wish this dog, my dog's name is Orna, so maybe that's why it's so fucking annoying. Shh. God, this dog is so... It barks a lot. But I like her still. But she barks so much. So I actually came back and I was showing you guys... Oh my god. Because I had to go feed my dog so he would shut up. I was showing you guys that two-handed builds work, and even if you don't have the staff of the Chimera, if you just have normal weapons, you should try it. Just make sure you have some action rate in there, and just try it. If you have a two-handed weapon, you can mix in one Arisen Tray Charm, which gives you 15% on your stats from the two-hander. And if you don't have Lugos, you can put in a second one. But if you have a Lugos, you should put in one Lugos too. And I was showing the damage, that it was pretty awesome, but unfortunately I did not record that. So pretty much you can use any weapon, you just need to make sure that it has a bit of magic damage on it, like magic stat on it. And then, as I said, the multipliers, especially if you're a deity, you can more comfortably use the Phase Chimera or the normal Chimera pet. So yeah, I'm not sure how coherent that was, but I will be working on better videos in the future. So I hope this one was bearable, and I hope I wasn't talking too fast. I hope the music wasn't too loud. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and take care.